Ball State training camp continues, and today it's an offensive lineman conversation. First, starting off with O-line coach Colin Johnson. Colin, just first and foremost, what have you seen from this offensive line group so far this fall?
Well, I've seen two ends of the spectrum. I've seen some guys that have some veteran status, played a lot of football, and they're playing that way. But then I also have a good number of young guys that haven't played a lot, and they're trying to figure it out. We've been blessed to bring in some older players on defense. We have a really stout defense this year, and some of these young guys have got to get thrown into the mix, and they're feeling it a little bit. The one thing about us coaches, we know the accumulation of practices have to start to show. With the guys we got, the older guys, I like what I've seen. I'm starting to see their leadership and their ability to come back out.
With Damon and Ethan, when they decided to come back, how important was that to this offensive line core?
It was very important. It was very important for me. I love coaching, and by all means, I'll coach whoever's in that room. But with those guys, I've coached them a lot, and they can tell me what I'm about to say. They can coach some other guys as well, and that helps, right? When you've got guys that played so much, that can share knowledge in the room, it helps the development of your younger players come along so much faster, and there's no premium on that. So when you have a group that's very young, it's great to have older players that can set the example, set the standard, all right, and help them to continue to improve.
And how have you seen them set that standard?
Showing up every day ready to work. That's the biggest thing. Half these guys have never stepped foot on the football field and played a game before. So to see those guys, their approach to work every day, and that starts with coming in, being on time for the meetings, how they eat, the time they spend taking care of themselves post-practice. So it's all those little things that most people outside of this program don't see. But it's the eyes that's inside the programs, the eyes that haven't had the chance to do it yet, they get a chance to watch those guys and see what, I know we're not pro ball players, but what fifth-year seniors, sixth-year seniors will look like.
Ethan, how have you seen this offensive line group grow from spring ball up to now?
I say coming back and seeing and watching these younger guys really step up when the older guys have all left was awesome. I'm like, they were prepared to take on to the role, and I feel like everyone has really grown as an individual going into the offensive line unit.
You were about to go do something else, and then you said, hey, I want to come back and play some football. What was that process like?
The process was like, because I stepped away due to the knee injuries and all that, and with my roommates always talking about football, my friends were still on the football team. I was like, man, I really missed the game. And then Johnson reached out and he's like, hey, we take you back. And I was like, yes, please. I'd love to get back into this.
How are some of the older offensive linemen been able to help bring in this young core that you want to develop and help Ball State football continue to grow?
I think it's been good. I feel like at least the older guys have really shown these younger guys hey, this is how we do things. This is your role. This is how things need to be done.
How about you personally? You said you've been battling some of those injuries from the past. What have you been doing to make sure that you're right to go for this fall?
Oh, lots of ice baths. Oh yeah, lots of ice baths, and just making sure my body's at 100%, taking care of it, fish oil, stuff like that.
Damon, what have you seen from this offensive line so far in training camp?
Yeah, just the older guys and the younger guys all stepping up, working hard, getting the job done. It's been fun.
For you coming back another year with this Ball State offensive line, what are you trying to do to establish this core to make sure it's ready to go?
Yeah, I'm trying to just be a leader. We have an older offensive line, so we're gonna have some leadership, and with four returners coming back, just try and be a good leader and try to show them how it's done.
For you, what was the process like to come back? Because it sounded like you were going to be done, but then you said, hey, I still have the itch to play one more year.
Right. Yeah, I was originally done, and then I was originally trying to get into firefighting, but I heard Ethan's coming back, and he called me up one day when he decided to come back, and got me thinking about it, and I had been itching about it, a little bit about coming back, and made a decision.
When you talk about you and Ethan having those kind of conversations, that camaraderie seems very strong. How does that show on the field?
Oh yeah, the offensive line as a whole, as a unit, is really close. Especially the older guys that have played together, gotten reps together. We're all really close. So when you're close off the field, on the field, it makes it that much easier.